What's going on, guys? I'm the Maha Mechanic, and today we are going to be fixing the exhaust on this 1984 Porsche 944. So let's get into it. So what we're going to be installing is a Borla XR1 and a Jones turbine resonator. See there? So we're going to start with the resonator. We want it to go pretty much where the seats are in the middle of the car. Just to help cancel out any harsh frequencies and stuff like that. So somewhere like right here, but it looks, as you can see, this is not a stock exhaust. I believe this is a Lindsey Racing exhaust, just with no cats or anything. It almost looks like it could have been perfect if the resonator was a little bit longer. I could have just taken that pipe out, welded the resonator in place, but it looks like we're gonna have to go more towards the front here, kind of like this. And this might work out better for me because then I'll only have to weld right there, and then I can keep on using the clamp, the band clamp here, and not have to weld from there back. So yeah, I'm thinking here, what I'm gonna do is essentially just cut right here, and you know, that's already cut there. So I'll cut right here. Take that piece out, put this in its place, and then because I currently have an issue back here as well, some random cheap muffler, not quite sure, sounds like crap, but back here you can see my exhaust tip's about a foot away from reaching the outside of the car, and which is kind of exactly the distance of my resonator. So what I'm gonna do is take the pipe that I cut from there, should have the muffler in kind of the same place. Might be a little bit further out or further in, but it should be, everything should stay vaguely where it is. I'll put the muffler there, put the, weld the pipe that I took out from up there on the end, and then put the exhaust tip on that, so it should stick out right here, and I can cut it to length if I need to. As you see right now, I also don't have a hanger because that was deleted. So I'm also gonna have to fab up an exhaust hanger and get this all situated properly. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna start by removing the whole back half of the exhaust up until here. And then from there, I'll mark out how far I need to cut off, mark that, then probably just take it off the collector here. And so we'll just run everything, we'll take everything off from the headers back, which is not too much, so. There we go. Yeah, now we can get our section of pipe measured out so we can take it off and cut it. All right, so set it up here. We're gonna cut it probably around there, just to be safe. So while I have it in the bandsaw, I just noticed that this might be different because the collar's not going to go all the way up into here or whatever it was. They're not going to slide together, so I need to reevaluate real quick. All right, so I put this little mid piece in just because we don't have enough to actually go up in there with and clamp down on still. So I'm going to have to weld this straight to that, which is unfortunate, but it's gonna be what it is. And then we're gonna mark kind of where we need this to be, where we're gonna cut, and then I'm gonna mark again where I need to slide it onto. to have it be at the same spot. Alright, we have it slid up to our mark here. Before we tack anything, just gonna make sure the gap is kind of level all around, just to make sure that it's not crooked one way or the other. I've done that, and we are going to throw a couple tacks on it and see if it works for us. So with it kind of held up in place here, of course this isn't what it's gonna finally look like, but looks like it's pointing where it should be and not all skewed at an angle. So we can continue going on with this. The good news is here we have some adjustment, so even if I am off a little bit, shouldn't matter too much. But now we're going to take this piece, clean it up a bit. We're gonna weld it on to the end of this, which this one has to be a little bit more precise because you can't slide anything in anywhere. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah, finish weld this bad boy, get it back on the car. So pretty close. Got a little tweaked at the end here, but the saving grace here is that we can shift this and whatnot. So we'll have to do it like that. This side of the exhaust on, now that I got the other muffler off, we're gonna put that side on, and then we're gonna start mocking up where this muffler is going to go. And we also need to start figuring out what to do for an exhaust hanger, because this is not ever going back on the car. So yeah, let's get to brainstorming. So I found the placement of the muffler. The muffler slides over, and it's pretty tight, so there's really only one way that'll go. I'll just mark the orientation. Just in case it moves when I take this whole piece off again to weld it. But here's the tentative plan. You see this right here. I have one bolt in this hanger, and this little adjustment here. I'm gonna have to make a little adapter because right now it's not really centered on the exhaust hook things. So I'm gonna push it over a little bit, and by pushing it over, it'll come up, and I'll just have to make like an inch to inch and a half plate, cut that out, put 2 holes in it, maybe a slot, and then I'll just use that to attach the 2 holes together. Unfortunate, but hey, it happens. All right, so yes, I know it looks terrible, but this is our little adapter piece to go up in here like this. So you can see the slot is for adjustment up and down, so I can get it exactly where I want it. And yeah, So I'll just have to put another bolt in up here and then tighten it down where I get it, when I get it where I want it, and whatnot. So if you can see, here's my little adapter plate installed. There's that side, and I got the whole exhaust mocked up. It keeps sliding, but I've marked, you can see that is not aligned, but I've marked where I want the clamp to be. To put, basically what I want to do is put this above this bolt in this, like right here, above this little divot here, and that should give me sufficient ground clearance and stuff, so that I don't end up actually hitting the ground and stuff. I've marked where I'm going to weld this muffler. See if I can't push it in a little bit more, but that's the orientation mark. Basically just going to take this off and weld it straight there. Maybe clean up this a little bit, yeah, then we're going to be on to figuring out our hanger situation over here. So luckily, when I bought the car from the previous owner, I did not throw away these random rubber pieces that I thought were just random and laying in the back seat. I kept them because I was like, maybe they'll be important later. Maybe I can use them for something. Turns out that they are the exhaust hangers, or they can be used as exhaust hangers for the exhaust back here. So I'm gonna put them on there like that, and then I'll start welding pieces of sheet metal, or not really sheet metal, but plate steel and whatnot together, so that I can have the correct distances and stuff here. And then I will put the muffler that I just welded back on here, mock it up for the second to last time, get my measurements that I need for that, get everything cut out, and then ready to weld. So as you can see, here's where I'm starting from. Cut out some pieces of metal that'll fit in the hangers, bent them so that, kind of like this, so that they won't come back out once they're in. And make a plate that'll go from the edge of here to edge of there to connect the two, and then kind of just make like a little T from here to here, and then from here to the exhaust, and that should be the extent of that. I don't want to get too fancy with it because I'm not really good at that stuff. So, yeah, let's keep on going. So, just welded this up. Again, not pretty. Should get the job done. From here, all we need to do is drop another piece of bar downwards and connect it to the exhaust. And then we should be good. All right, so from here, I marked out where I need to weld to be on like the center here. And basically what I'm gonna do is cut something that's about 5/8 of an inch, weld it in between these two marks, and then put a crow's foot on it, or kind of bend it, pointing it this way, so I don't actually weld it to the exhaust. I'm going to put a band clamp or a hose clamp or something around, and it's gonna hold like that, just so that if I ever have to take this off, you see how these are bent around, those aren't gonna wanna go anywhere. So yeah, I think a hose clamp is my best option here. Kind of like what they did on the Caymans of new. You can see right there, they had hose clamps, or exhaust clamps I should say, around the exhaust in like the same way that I'm doing. So I'm just gonna take inspiration from that and put it on a car that is exactly 30 years old. Here, I've tucked that way beyond the bolt here. So I've got it where I want it. And then, yeah, if I can take this back out, which it was kind of tough to put in, but I'll get this out, put a little foot on it, and then weld this to that, and we'll be done. All right, so here is the finished product. We have our resonator sitting pretty much, come back pretty much where you sit, maybe more towards the footwell area. Follow it all the way back. We have our updated exhaust hanger here because I made a little oopsie with the clocking of that, but nothing that couldn't be fixed. Follow it back, you can see how high I tucked this. You can see it's above this little notch right here. So that'll help us with some ground clearance as well, so we don't end up scraping like it looks like some other people have in the past. And keep following us back. We got our Borla muffler with our extension pipe welded onto the end. And then we have our T hose clamp exhaust hanger, as you can see here. A lot stiffer than a welding wire, I can tell you what. Up and down is nice and good. As you can see here, this is how it worked. I just put a band clamp around that little crow's foot, and then coming all the way back to the exhaust tip. And it's a little inset. The edge of it's a little inset from the little bumper pad here, but I think that should be nice. Plenty of distance here, maybe 2 inches here between the paint, so we're not gonna have to worry about burning any paint, and we're even further from the rubber. So yeah, now it's time to roll those sound clips.